Hey, this is Art from Keller Williams. All right, if you're here, I presume you're a first-time home buyer and you want more information about getting pre-qualified as a buyer versus getting pre-approved. And what's the difference? Well, here's the difference. What a pre-qualification is you either go in person or call a lender on the phone, and they're going to ask you, what is your income and what are your bills, what are your debts? And then based on that, they're going to plug those numbers into what's called a debt-to-income ratio that they use. If you fit their ratio, they're going to issue you a pre-qualification letter. Now, can you purchase a home with a pre-qualification letter? I'm going to say it's possible, but in most cases, sellers reject them. Here's why. Because they know that a pre-qualification letter, anyone can get one by simply calling up a lender and telling them, verbally, what's my income and what are my debts or my bills. So what's the pre-approval and how's it different? The pre-approval process is you speak to a lender, tell them your income and your debts, but now they're going to run a credit check and they're going to verify that what you told them is correct, and they're going to check your credit score. So sellers today are more savvy and knowledgeable than they ever have been. So a lot of times sellers will instruct their real estate agents, do not bring me any offers to purchase my home that aren't also accompanied by a pre-approval letter. So as a first-time home buyer, if you're thinking, well, I'll just go find a home first, and then once I find the home, then I'll get the pre-approval letter. You can do that. That's certainly an option, but it's not a good one. It's not wise for you to do that, especially in the Jacksonville, Florida, and St. Augustine, Florida real estate markets. And why do I say that? Because it's a seller's market. A seller's market, sometimes if the home's priced right and it's a nice home, the homes can sell quickly. They can go under contract quickly. The first weekend of open house, the first week that it goes on the market, or the first month that it goes on the market. And sometimes the sellers get multiple offers. So how can you, as a first-time home buyer, put yourself in the strongest position possible? Purchase a home, go get a pre-approval letter, get pre-approved with your mortgage lender before you go and start looking for a home. Now, one other thing I'm going to say about the pre-approval process. Typically, if you find the home that you want to buy and you fill out the purchase and sale agreement, that's your offer to purchase the seller's home, and then we send that in to the seller's agent along with your pre-approval letter. Those are typically the two sets of documents that are required to get a signed contract. A signed contract is when you sign and I sign, so you as the buyer sign, I sign as your agent, the seller signs, and the seller's agent signs. And then we get that delivered back to me, and then I deliver it to you. At that point, we have a signed contract. So the typical loan process takes 30 to 45 days to close. So if it's January 1st, we're probably not closing until somewhere around the middle of February. All right, now, you got your pre-approval letter prior to us going to look for homes. How long is that pre-approval letter good for? Typically 90 days. It could be more, but typically at least 90 days. So if you're thinking, well, if I get pre-approved now, but I don't find the house that I really like, it takes me 2 months to find it. That's still fine, because the pre-approval letters are typically good for at least 90 days or 3 months. So again, getting a pre-approval letter puts you in the strongest position possible as a buyer when you're shopping for a new home. Now, once you get your pre-approval letter, definitely do not make the mistake of that's not the time to go buy new furniture or to buy a new vehicle, a car or a truck. I've seen this happen. People get their pre-approval letter. Remember that pre-approval letter is based on your income and your credit check at the time that and your debt to income ratio at the time that the pre-approval letter is issued by the mortgage lender. Now, if you go and add additional debt, like in the form of buying a new vehicle or a large purchase on your credit cards, like buying furniture, etc., that could potentially throw your debt to income ratio off to the point where you're no longer going to qualify for a mortgage. And unfortunately, I've seen it happen where people got the pre-approval letter, found the home that they liked, we submitted the offer and the pre-approval letter, it was accepted by the seller, We negotiated price, whatever. We negotiated repairs during the 10-day inspection period. And then boom, during the underwriting process, your mortgage lender comes back and says, hey, I'm sorry, you don't qualify for the loan anymore. So please don't make that mistake, and just be aware, if you are thinking of making a large purchase after you have your pre-approval letter issued from your mortgage lender, just wait until after you do the actual closing and purchase the home. And then once you own the home, you're free to go purchase whatever you want in terms of buying a new car, furniture, etc. Hope that helps. Best of luck finding your new home.